Sama saya Dr. Sofian. We are from Group 3. In our group, we have to find out the best model for making prediction of betting average in baseball in dataset 3. We are using SRR and MRR. The SRR is simple linear regression analysis and MRR is multiple linear regression analysis. In this data, a random sample of Major League Baseball player was obtained. There was a dependent variable is data y and the interdependent variables are x1, x2, x3, x4 and x5. The data of y is betting average by baseball player and the data x1 is baseball player run score or time as bet. Data x2 is baseball player get doubles or time at bet. And data x3 is baseball player get triples or times at bats. Data x4 is baseball player home runs times at bat, and the last data x5 is baseball player strikeout or times at bat.
Today I'm going to explain about simple linear regression. First and all, we have scatter plot. Scatter plot, we must search the relationship between two variables, which is dependent variable y and independent variable.
I'm going to present about the correlation coefficient of simple linear regression. Based on the graph, x1, x2, x3, and x4 has strong positive linear relationship, while for x5 has strong negative linear relationship. It means that for positive linear, the variation in the dependent variable of y is accounted by the variation in the independent variable x. Whereas for the negative linear, it means that the two variables tend to move in opposite directions.
Next is the general form of equation for simple linear regression. As you can see from the table, for graph 1, y equals to 0.8641x. It stands for the slope of the line. Meanwhile, the 0.1501 stands for the y-intercept.
Testing the regression slope beta 1. Simple linear regression uses the predicted values of the parameters beta 0 and beta 1 to determine if an independent variable has a significant impact on the dependent variable. Based on the scatter plot above, the regression line of slope beta 1 for x1, x2, x3 and x4 is positive, while for the graph x5 is negative.
Coefficient of determination, all the value of r squared are between 0 to 1. It is partially fit to prediction of betting average.
For the multiple linear regression, we done a regression analysis where for the overfitting, there is no large difference between r square adjusted and r square predicted, which means there is no overfitting in this model. For the multicollinearity, the correlation analysis and scatter plot shows that there is high correlation between x1 and x2 and x1 and x3, which means there is multicollinearity in this model. For model comparison, the highest R square adjusted is 84.2, 83.6 and 83.9. The highest R square predicted is 80.8, 80.4 and 79.9. The lowest Melosipy model is 4.8, 5.1 and 6.0.
So now we're going to choose the best fitted model based on the model comparison. There, x1, x2, x4 and x5 shows best model which has high R-squared adjusted and the IR squared predicted does not fall off. The Melosipy is almost exactly equals the number of predictors or independent variables. Now look at the point prediction based on the best model equation, which is x1, x2, x4. Point prediction is betting average equals to 0.183 plus 0.447 plus 0.991 plus 0.274 minus with 0.285. Last but not least, for alpha equals to 0.05 and df equals to 539, f 0.05 equals to 2.456. F values are higher than 2.456. Reject HO. There is evidence that at least one independent variable affects y. P-value of x3 and x4 is 0.29 and 0.11. Hypothesis test on the significance of individual terms in the model.
As a conclusion, linear regression is a useful tool for analyzing the relationships between the variables but isn't advised for the majority of actual application. There are two major advantages of multiple linear regression. Those are the ability to assess the relative impact of one or more predictor variables on the criteria value and the capacity to spot outliers or anomalies. That's all from us. Thank you, sir.